I was literally like, what the heck did I get myself into? Hey y'all, what's up? Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm coming to you guys with a very real, open and honest video. I thought it would help at least one person out there, hopefully. So basically I'm talking about, like you guys can see in the title, things that I didn't expect with the dog and kind of what I felt whenever I kind of hit like a oh crap, what did I get myself into type of thing, because it's real. And so anyway, here's my puppy. He is, come here Bubba. Come on. He is a Maltipoo. He's apricot color and he is 15 weeks today. He is the sweetest, most loving little pup and really smart and can be mischievous sometimes if I'm not careful. He's really, really sweet. But y'all, when I first got him, I was like, oh crap, like I got in over my head and I can't do this. And so I just wanted to talk to you guys about that. He's literally trying to sneak off right now. What are you doing, Bubba? Oh, don't you think about it. Come here. So I first got him, he's been with me for 3 weeks now. 3 weeks? Yeah, I guess, huh? Yeah, he's been with me for 3 weeks now, and so it's felt like forever at this point. But the first 3 days, y'all, I thought I was gonna have to give him back because he was too big of a responsibility and I thought I'd bit off too much than I can chew. In the first 72 hours, I was like, what did I get myself into? So that's why I wanted you guys to watch this before you get a puppy. Things that I didn't expect, what I really felt, and this is just very honest and open, me talking to you guys about the situation. So anyway, he's just resting and sleep on my shoulder right now. But so yes, so all the expenses, I was prepared for that. I was ready for that. I really had everything that I really needed for a puppy like months before I actually got one because I knew I was gonna get one. But y'all, when he got here, the first night, well, first and foremost, on the way from the breeder, he threw up in his little carry bag, like a lot. And I was like, oh my gosh. Like, one, I felt horrible. Two, I was like, already? Wow. Like, you know what I mean? Like, cause you hear about like these things that you have to like pick up and do and stuff like that. But it wasn't a problem at all. I just pulled over at like a Sonic on the way and grabbed some napkins and stuff and helped him out. And he looked so sad. And so first night, he went in this crate really, really easy. I am crate training him. Went in this crate really easy because he was scared. So he was like ready to like get in that crate and by himself because he was so scared. And so I put this little toy in there with him. It looks kind of like him to me. And so I thought it was really cute whenever I got it. And so I put it over him to kind of mimic like his like litter mate and stuff like that. So he was fine the first night, but y'all, the second night, I have the crate in my room with me. He's just knocked out right now. I have the crate under my desk and he cried for, like, not even just cried, barked, cried, screamed, growled for 45 minutes until he finally settled down and went to sleep, y'all. I was like, and I've heard, you know, the first, you know, days and weeks are hard with a new puppy and it's adjusting and stuff like that, and I get that. But y'all, it's nothing that I could prepare myself for. So my friend was like, honestly, she let her dog stay in her room with her, you know, for the first few nights, but then after that she put his crate in the living room. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna try that. And he still cried as much, but it was better, I feel like, for the both of us. One, because if he saw me right next to him, here's the trick with him, if he sees me right next to him, he wants me to be by him. It's kind of like out of sight, out of mind. If I'm away, then it's fine. He's not really focused on it. And that's even how it is like now. I'll have him in this playpen or whatever, and he'll be, you know, crying or whatever if I'm sitting right next to him. But if I walk out of the room, he's fine. I put his crate in the living room. It's still in the living room, has been in the living room. Oh. I think another part that was so hard was that it was like that weekend it was a lot going on. My college roommate, who I lived with for 4 years in college, came and visited me that weekend, the same weekend I got a dog. So it was really bad timing on my part, but I was like so anxious and so excited to get a dog. So anyway, that next day we went to like Topgolf and all this other stuff, and I felt so bad. It was like this like dog owner remorse, if that's even a thing. But I like left him in this crate and then I would come back and spend some time with him, spend like an hour with him, and then we would leave and go somewhere else. And so I felt horrible. And so that was a lot. I just felt like I was putting a lot of pressure on myself for that. He was fine when we were gone. He was asleep, he was chilling. And then the next day we went to Hurricane Harbor, and I felt horrible about that because it was like, you know, like a few hours or whatever away. He had food and water and stuff, so he was fine. But it was just like, I was just like, oh my gosh, like this is a big responsibility. It's literally like having a child. So that's how I felt about that part. But the sleeping thing was a big part for me because I was like, if y'all personally know me, y'all know if I do not get my sleep, or if I'm hungry, like if I'm hangry or like sleepy sleepy, like extremely sleepy, I am not happy. So that's kind of what was happening, and it was frustrating because the second night when I had him here, he did not want to go to sleep. He was like screaming and everything, and I was trying to keep him up, and I was holding him, and I looked at my college roommate, and I was like, Etty, oh my gosh. Anyway, it got better over the course of it, but y'all, like that, I was just like, what the heck did I do? And so I remember I was heading to, this is me being very honest with you guys, I was heading to TJ Maxx at my parents' house because they have a really good like dog selection, and I sat in the car and I was like, I'm not getting out, because I literally went there for dog stuff. I was like, I'm not getting out. I'm not getting anything else for this dog. And I just had like, I kind of like broke down, and I was like crying, and I was like, oh my gosh, like what did I do? You know, I feel horrible to get this dog back because he's already, you know, like dogs get so attached to you so quick. And so I was like, oh my gosh, I feel horrible. He's like this like little helpless thing. He doesn't know any better, but I was just like, oh my gosh. And so anyway, I called my best friend. I was like, Jordan, I don't know what to do right now. Like I'm freaking out. She's like, you know, just give it more time. It's normal that happens. And so y'all, I'm literally looking up different blog posts like, I got a dog and I don't want him. Like I'm just being honest, that's like the titles I was looking at when stuff came up. And there was this lady who did a blog post, or basically people were writing into her because that's how she felt when she first got a dog, and she like wrote about it. So people were writing into her, and she was saying there's something about the first 72 hours that after that people were like done. And that was the third day I had him, and I was like, that's interesting. You know, Jordan kept saying, give it more time, you know, after a month, reassess, but etc. And so I just felt horrible, y'all. I was like crying, I prayed about it. And so I was to the point where I was like, in my head, I was set on like, I'm not doing this. I can't do this. I'm not doing it. And I was gonna give him back. I was going to give this little sweet boy back on that next day. So then I ended up talking to my boyfriend Christian that night, and I was telling him the problems I was having with him and the thoughts I was having. And I feel like I made myself think that my allergies were messing up, which made my asthma mess up, and it was because of him. And there's a lot going on. And so anyway, he was like, can I be very honest with you? And I was like, yeah. And he was like, something's telling me that you just want to give up because it's hard. And I was like, oh. And so we talked through that, and he was like, honestly, like keep doing it, keep trying, like he needs you. He's like he's a puppy, he's a baby. And so anyway, that was a conversation that literally is the reason he's still here, to be very honest, because I was just like, I can't do this. I feel horrible, like I'm not a good dog owner, and I feel like he would be better suited other places, and etc. and all this other stuff. And I'm just so thankful for that conversation because I absolutely love him. I always loved him. I loved him like that day I brought him home. It was just tough. It was really tough and really hard. And so y'all, he must be really sleepy because he is knocked out, and he's never been knocked out in this position with me. But that's that whole story. But it wasn't even the poop, it wasn't, you know, stretch of throwing up, it wasn't any of like the nasty stuff. It was just the thought that I was like, oh holy crap, like what did I get myself into? This is a lot of responsibility. Like what if I want to leave the house? I was just feeling like, oh, I couldn't do anything. Oh, if I come home I have to, you know, cater to him. And Christian was like, you're doing too much. He was like, you're putting a lot of pressure on yourself because you're so used to everything, you know, you wanting to do stuff with perfection, etc. And he was like, just chill out a little bit on it. And I was like, oh, okay. He was like, he's a dog. And he was like, your dog is treated like in the 98th percentile of how other dogs are treated. And he was like, it's okay. And so he kind of put it in perspective, because I was like, oh, okay, I don't have to be with him 24/7. Oh, I don't have to, you know, hold him every hour. I don't have to hand feed him, you know, like stuff like that. And I was like, oh, okay. So that kind of put some things, like I knew this, but I didn't realize, I guess I was doing it. And that's what was putting so much pressure on me. Because I was trying to overdo it and I don't know what the heck was going on. So anyway, hopefully that part made sense, but that was like a huge like realization. Anyway, I just kept going and kept trying, and like the days went by, and I was like, okay Dash, we got this. And I looked at him, when Christian left that night, I literally looked at Dash and I was like, okay buddy, we're gonna try to do this. And he like looked up at me, and I was crying because I was so sad that I was gonna have to possibly give him up. And so I was like crying, and he like looked up at me and laid his head on my chest, and I was like, oh my gosh. And so that next day I like looked in the mirror with him, and I was like, okay bud, we're gonna stick this out. We got this. You need me, I need you, we're gonna do it. So and I know some of y'all are like, he's just a dog, but no, he's like, he is a dog, but he is just the sweetest little pup in the world. I'm just very thankful that it stuck it out. So I'm here to tell you guys, after that long story, first and foremost, he's an amazing dog. He's so smart, so much fun. Like he can be really hyper, but he can be really chill. He's He's not a bad dog. He's really, really smart, very sweet. So I'm here to tell you guys, if you are interested in a dog, first be sure that you do your research and make sure it's the right dog for you. What I really love about Dash, about Maltipoos, is that they are hypoallergenic and he doesn't shed. You don't have to worry about dog hair everywhere. I hate when my hair is everywhere, so let alone dog hair. And he's hypoallergenic, so I don't have to worry about that because I do have asthma. And so that I don't think that would really affect anything, but you know what I mean, like it helped. Then the other thing is that I would say do your research. A lot of times with dogs, whenever you're chilling, they'll chill. Whenever you're hyper, they'll get hyper. They really read their owner very, very well. And so that's a good point to remember, that it gets better and they'll chill out. If you're having problems at night, it gets better. I've moved his crate into the living room, and then I also put a black, like a unfitted sheet that I just got from Walmart for like $5. I put that over his crate at night so it can help him sleep, and that he's like burrowed in there and that he feels like that's his space. And so that's what I do, and I just keep the crate door open all the time. I put again, I put this little toy in there with him, and I put this like little chewing bone in there with him too, that way at night, in case he, you know, just wants to chew on something, he has this option. So that's what I do with that. Yeah, so I'm just here to tell y'all, oh Bubba, he's sleepy, his head is falling. It's okay. It gets better. I know I'm like holding him like a little baby. Hi, Bubba. So I love it. It took me a while to get to that point, but I'm there now, and he is literally, y'all can just, oh! The fact that he literally slept like that the whole video is so rare. Like, he does not do that. Like, he is usually kind of hyper, especially if I'm here and about and I have all his toys out, because that's from another video. But anyway, just want to come to y'all and talk to y'all about that and let y'all know, if y'all are a new puppy dog owner, or if you're getting ready to get a puppy or a dog or whatever, that it does get better. There are different ways to do it. Something that helped him sleep at night, I believe, were these things. It's basically good behavior calming drops, and it's basically the same like pheromone technology and pheromone smells, I guess, whatever that is, as the mom, so it gives him like a comforting scent. And then also putting the sheet over his crate was really helpful. I think that helped him tremendously. And then also, like, wear your dog out, like exercise them, run them around before bedtime, and then calm them down and just stick them in the crate. When you put them in the crate, leave them there. Do not go back if they're crying. That's going to teach them horrible behavior if you keep going back when they're crying, because that teaches them that if they cry, you'll come. And so you put them in, close the little thing over it, and they're good. And so he's chill, and he's gotten used to it. He gets used to his routine. And something that's also been really helpful, I've watched so many dog training videos. Zach George is absolutely amazing. I've watched like pretty much majority of his dog training videos that have been really helpful, and just tips for a new puppy and puppy biting and stuff like that. Something that's also been really helpful in this process is this bitter apple spray. It basically keeps your dogs from biting on your shoes and your coffee table and your tripods and anything else that you don't want them to bite on. Basically, you just spray it on there or wherever, and they hate how it tastes. It's super bitter for them, and they do not like it. So it'll teach them over time to not bite on that. It does only last for 24 hours. And so typically, Dash doesn't really chew on one consecutive thing. He'll try to chew, he used to try to chew on my fingers, and I'll spray it on my fingers, and then after like three tries of doing that, he hasn't never done it again. And so it helps with people, it helps like with people's fingers and people's toes and ankles and stuff. You can spray it all over. So that's just a few tips that I have for you guys. I promise you it gets better if you have a new puppy. I promise you. I don't know the exact time period that it will get better. It could get better within a week. I was thinking of all the things I couldn't do anymore, rather than thinking of all the great things that I can do, and that we can go on walks, we can go to the stores together, we can do all types of stuff, and just have that little thing chasing me around the apartment whenever I just feel like doing something. So that's just my story. Hopefully that was helpful for you guys. If it was, be sure to give me a thumbs up, and then don't forget to subscribe. Don't leave this video without subscribing if this video has helped you. And then also let me know down below if you've been experiencing the same thing, or you did, or if you have tips for other people that may be going through this or whatever. Leave them down below in the comments. And if you have any questions or concerns, let me know down below in the comments as well. And I always typically always answer you guys down below and always reply back to your comments. So anyway, I love you guys so very much. Thank you so much for 18,000 subscribers. You guys are amazing, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.